Right, we're starting in 5, 4, 3. I think we're actually already going. What's going
Sometimes we're
on?
back.
We're back, back in a big way, better than ever.
Anytime.
Um, yeah, interesting week.
Yeah, mate. Very interesting week.
So it's not often you get a 2,346 and you're being beaten by a third of the people.
Yeah, I
um, so yeah, I've finally got a green arrow. So I've gone from 75,000 to 70, just under 70,000. So that's good.
know. Is that your season rank at the moment?
Yeah. Fucking
Yeah, I lost.
ridiculous.
I lost 2,000 places this week with a score of like 2,300. So that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's
I'm
nuts.
at like 50,000 odd. I
Yeah.
think.
Like I picked the
Um,
wrong week to versus Jack. He got like 2450, I think.
yeah, I
Um,
know. Same with fucking Richard. Although I would have beaten Richard if I didn't have McRae as captain. So
yeah,
I
classic.
only lost by I think 50 or 60 points in the end or something like that.
Oh, mate, I was just looking at McRae today, and he's gonna drop like anywhere between like 20 and 50k over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's projected. His break even's 200 now. He's projected to drop 40k.
Like we
So
literally, like you and I both put him in like the 2 weeks previous,
yeah,
and he's gone 90, and just before that we said, look, we've got to pull the trigger because it's
he's not going to drop.
McRae, and he's
He's
never
not
dropped
dropping.
before below.
Uh,
So that's what you get.
yeah, we kind of got fucked on that one a little bit.
Oh well, I mean, we've got a few teams to look at that a few people have sent in, and a couple of them don't have McRae, so my advice would be to wait until he has his
Yeah,
200 break even game, and then he should be your priority. He's got a bit of a role change, like he's playing a bit of wing and not
yeah,
100% sure what's going on there, but yeah, just keep an eye on his centre bounce attendance, I think, and um, yeah, I'd be surprised if he wasn't back up to his. Oh, because I think he's still got 28 disposals and stuff, so
yeah. It just hurts the bank a little bit when it's like I'm only Ring him like, oh, I'll get him
mm,
later in the season when he drops, and then he's just been 150 popping off. It's like, all right, we'll finally pull the trigger on him,
yeah,
and then now he's going to drop probably
yeah.
60, 70, 80k. Like,
And like feel like this week as well, I've got the option to do the same thing that I did with him with Gorn and pay overs.
yeah, I could do that
Um,
too. Um,
but I'm like, fool me once, shame on
yeah,
you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right?
yep,
Um, so yes. All right. Well, I mean, rather than go through player to player because that gets a little bit crazy. I guess we'll just go over what I did last week and then what I'm maybe planning to do this week. So
yep,
I was really hoping last week to get rid of Whitfield. Couldn't do it because of the injury, so I ended up having to get rid of Cherry, and then obviously the Grundy one as well. Could obviously Hayes as well. So I couldn't get rid of Rochelle because I needed him on field. And couldn't get rid of Whitfield because obviously had to get rid of Grundy. Yeah, Whitfield played like a half forward role and he kicked 3 goals, had 6 tackles, and still couldn't ton up. So final story again for me. I think I'm going to try and get rid of him this week if I possibly can. It's just fucking so frustrating. Um,
yeah,
yeah, decided to keep Raul a couple of weeks back and he's gone 100, so that's good. Yeah, I got in Oliver and Cripps last week, so obviously they went ham. Hayes, who I had to play on field because Jackson was had COVID. That didn't go too well. Obviously, you're going to expect that a little bit from the rookies, but I mean, it was either have him on or Dixon, and he still scored better than Dixon. And this week I've got the option, just depending on what I do to maybe swap Jackson back into the rucks, or I can keep Hayes on the field. I think Hayes has got a pretty good matchup against the Dogs, so he could be an option to have on field, and um,
you could put
Jackson in the forward line.
Jackson in the forward line. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yep.
I think that way. Like, I'd rather have Hayes on the field than like a Dixon, huge Dix, or a
To go,
Roses.
yeah, or yeah. What are your options? Are you going to get rid of Rochelle this week or you're not?
Yeah, he's the target. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm thinking a Rochelle and a Whitfield. I've only got one trade boost left. I'm already down to 22 trades. So I've got to chill out. Um, Geordie, g'day mate, how are you? Boys, you won't believe it. I went with Laddams, who told me not
Told
to
you,
go,
mate.
and it bit me in the ass and cooked me. I'm sorry, boy. I have to apologise to us, mate.
Apology accepted, mate.
Just have a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, mate, and apologise to that man because you've done yourself a disservice. What did Laddams even end up getting? I don't even.
Like 80 odd or something, I think.
Yeah, he had such a good matchup against the Hawks. Like it was gonna. Yeah, look, 85. Look, it's not all bad news because he's still got a low break even of 44. So even
Yeah.
if
I
you
mean, he
know,
still went up 44k, so
yeah,
like
you've
he
still
made
made money
money.
on him. That's right. Yeah. I'll never go with your gut again. No, I don't think that's right, mate. Look, you got to go with your gut sometimes. Like this, you got to have some points of difference and that sort of stuff. So, um, yeah. Look, didn't work out this time, mate, but next time it might. So I wouldn't give up that easily. And look, I'm at this position in the season where, we're only 7 rounds in, but I'm so far behind. If I just try and play the same game as everyone else, I'm not going to make up any ground, and I want to try and finish as high as possible in the overall. So I've got to start making a few hard decisions, like, Luke Parker, for example, this week, he's probably a must-have, and I'm going to look somewhere else because I've just got to try and make up those places somewhere. So, um, yeah, throwing the baby out with the bathwater this week, I think, unfortunately. So, not necessarily the best for winning our league, but I'm not just playing the league. I'm trying to play overall as well. And what I'll fuck up this year, I'll hopefully learn for next year. So, I'll get your team up, mate. What did you end up doing last week?
What did I do last week? Fucking can't remember, mate. It's hot
You
waters every week at the moment.
you would have got Hayes in, obviously.
That's right. I got Hayes, and what did I do?
Roses, or did you already have him?
I think I might have had him. I got Hayes and Bruce in. That's right. Because I
Yeah,
had zero rucks because all my rucks got injured.
yeah. Well, Bruce went up
Um,
another 70k, so I mean,
yeah, I'll take that.
still got a
Hayes went
low
up as
break
well.
even.
Yep, Hayes went up as well.
Did you just do the
So
two trades?
I think I
I'm
think I
sorry,
brought.
bro.
Did I bring McRae in last week, or have I had him
Oh
for
yes,
2
that's what you
weeks?
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
brought
yeah,
McRae in as well.
yeah.
So I got rid of Grundy, brought Grundy
Hayes and
and
Cherry. Did you do the
Hayes
same as
and
me?
Grundy, Hayes, Sherry,
Yeah,
and brought in Bruce Hayes, McRae,
yeah.
and then now McRae a fucking drop. I was tossing up between bringing him in and Steele and having a bit more money in the bank, and I went with McRae because I was just so fucking set on him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so but if
That's the
he
thing.
pops
You
off and
you
starts
go.
scoring 150 again, I don't care.
That's
Um,
it. Well, it'll be interesting to see on Friday night what they got Port, who have leaked some midfield points. So, is he going to be back in the midfield attending 70% of the centre bounce, or is he going to have like 30 like he did last week or something? So it'll be interesting to see how they play it. I think they're trying to create, or just I don't know why. Like you win the or sorry, make the grand final last year, and they're just trying to reinvent the wheel. Maybe just polish a few things up rather than trying to just throw the whole game plan out, and start again, and trying all these people in positions they've got
yeah,
no
I know.
idea. So
Whatever.
anyway,
So this week I'm looking at addressing a few of my rookie problems on my bench,
well,
and maybe bringing in a premium.
your good
What's that?
news is Erasmus is probably going to get a game this week. I think
Yep,
because I've got a few COVID people out. So you remember a few weeks ago I was going to be trading Erasmus in and ended up trading in Mead last
that's
minute.
right. Yeah,
Um, so fucking hell. But what I learnt from that was to not, if there's not a good option, just stick with it. And last weekend when Roses, we got the late mail on him, he was going to be out. I had the option to trade in Hobbs. Decided I'm going to learn from my past experience. And Hobbs, I don't know if you've seen his scores, but he got 13 this week.
yeah, I saw that
His
13.
break
Yeah,
even's already 48, and he's gone up 10k. So
yeah,
if
fuck
you
that.
traded Hobbs in, which I know some people did like early, like it's just one of those cases where if you can wait to see if they're on the bubble and then see how they're going and what their positions like and their job security and stuff, just wait if you can. So in saying that, I'll be picking up Greg Clarke this week.
That's where I was going.
I'll bring up some. Well, do you want to do the rookies first, or do you want to do the?
If you go to my team, I'll quickly tell you what I'm doing, and then we can go to rookies and stuff if you want.
Yep, sounds good.
So I was going to get rid of Uland. He's been burning me on the bench, so I was going to sub him out, switch to Koning back to my defensive bench.
Yep.
Then I got a full defense, and then do some movements around with players. So I'll have a free slot on my midfield, and then I can bring Clarke in.
Yep.
And then I have a couple options from there. What I want to do, what I can do, I can get rid of like a Horn Francis or a Shelley and bring in a Parker if I want to. And then I could do, if I wanted to, I could use my boost and get rid of Tistas, fucking tennis player as well. He hasn't played any games. He's been too busy playing tennis. So I could get rid of him and bring in like a rookie for around 200k if I wanted to as well. And then I'd have a complete playing bench essentially.
It's sort of handy having one not playing for like
loophole purposes and stuff.
So like maybe this week I wouldn't do both of them, because then like you're sort of gonna, because they're both 102,000, right? So you're going to be spending money to upgrade both of them, and that might leave you a little short next week. But
otherwise I can just
it would be
get
nice
rid of one, and then get Parker in the forward line, and then I could leave it at that if I wanted to.
And if you were going to get rid of one of those two, you'd probably get rid of your midfielder one, right? Because the dual position's handy as a loophole.
It is handy. My only problem with it is, like, I think Horn Francis. I don't have a mid defender, and I think Horn Francis is more capable of making his break even than Rochelle is. But food for thought. I was also thinking of getting rid of Drizzy because his break even's gone up, and bring in like a defender like Short maybe. So still on the wall about a few things, but I think Clarke's definitely a key. Pick up, and then it'll probably either be Parker or Short going into the team.
Well, the beauty about Clarke this week is, sorry, you go.
I was just saying, Jaws asking what we both scored.
I scored 23.46 Jaws, so getting there, had a little increase, but still not quite where we want to be, but getting there.
I was at 2,300 with McRae as captain. So I'd like a few big score. I had Tuke Miller on my team and Cripps on my team and all that kind of stuff as well. So,
that's right. I didn't have Gawn. I didn't have Tom Stewart, who went ham. Like I think a few people had all of those. So if you had Tom Stewart and Gawn, which G did, classic. It was a big round for those people. So.
And I didn't trade out Jackson, so I had 450k on the bench with him and Hewitt on the bench as well. So
I did that too. I think 70% of people, look at the most trading, everyone's just flocking to Greg Clarke. The great thing about Greg Clarke is, and this is where I've sort of left myself a little, and I did think about this, is I've sort of my midfield's sort of complete now. Like Rao will be an upgrade at some point. So Greg, it would be nice to have Clarke score on the field, because it looks like he's going to be got 23.65. Let's go beat you this weekend at last. No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
Whoever's captain, Jaws.
Yeah, whoever's captain, mate. So I think this week, if you got Clarke in, he's try and do a loophole and try and take his score as you can. Yeah, Cripps. So I should have taken Oliver's score. I got greedy. I didn't do it.
Same.
But anyway, let's look at a few of the rookies this week, because there are a few good ones coming up, and not just this week, but the next week as well.
Cash increase and price per point.
So the reason that this, I don't know how to say his name, I'm just going to call him Strander. He has played 2 games, so that's why his break-even's higher, but Clarke's will be a lot higher than that next week, but he's only played the 1 game. So the ones to be mindful of this week, if you've if you're in a position like me and you've got Bruce and
A's.
Hayes on field, you probably in the next 2 weeks between Strandy and Begg here have an option to get that one of them in for a bit of extra cash gen. If you've gone with like say a Gorn Bruce or something like that, and you've also got Hayes on the bench, you're probably not going to be able to access some of the cash from these guys, but because there's still more for them to generate, but it's something to keep in mind. Another one this week who's on the bubble is McComb, who's playing on the wing for the Dogs. -41. He's scheduled to go up 40,000. He's nice and cheap, 102. He's a mature age recruit. And if you don't have room to get a mid in like Paul Curtis, don't know how his scoring potential is going to be over the next few weeks. But yeah, -48 break even and 48,000. But like Roses, it does sort of worry me a little bit that in a bottom sort of 5 team, he's a small forward essentially. So. And then you got like Erasmus as well, who's on the bubble, so he might come back this week. I just don't know about his job security moving forward once those guys get back, and you got people like Fife and stuff coming back in as well. So, is there anything you wanted to add on those guys, or what are you thinking?
Did you want to bring up the projected price increase to have the week?
Like for them?
No, just overall. You can do it on Supercoach. You can go like. No. Oh yeah, well that does it too. Projected round out price change.
Yeah, so this is the projected for this round, and it's got like overall from this point what they think. And from what I can see, this number's always quite conservative as well.
Yep. It's just whether these guys are going to have job security and playing, or is that the big thing? Like it's cool to see. Oh, he's going to go up 240k, but is he really going to be on the field every week where that can happen? So yeah, I think if you can, Clarke's a must. I agree with you on Curtis with the small forward thing in a losing team. I think that might be a little bit of an uphill battle. Like for me, I don't really need forwards. It'd be nice if there was a good defender rookie that we could pick up. To go one down, one up on, but there's just not really one there. Yeah, there's not really one there, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting when you get to the point where you're trying to trade out like a Gibkiss or Drizzy or whatever, which way you go there. I think there were a few others.
And just on that point, if it's all about your structure, what you should be doing with your trades now, and if your structure doesn't allow getting in an extra forward like a Parker, and you're going to really stack that defense with rookies, it might bite you when you can't get a defender rookie in, because I don't know, as we said, if there are any coming through or anything. So I mean, like for example, in my team, I'm going to try and bring in a defender this week. If I tried to bring in Parker, I'd be stacking my forward line a little bit heavy, and I'd be running say De Koning, Gibkiss, McCartan, Dacos and Drizzy all in the back line. So it's really stacking some low scoring rookies on there. So yeah, I don't think in my case my structure allows me to get Parker, unfortunately. But and the other ones to keep in mind, which aren't on that list that you had before because they've only played one game, but ones to keep in mind. So I think a must-have, as you said just before, is Greg Clarke. Obviously, he's got that high scoring potential. His first game, 104. He was one that we all probably had in our team before the start of the year before he got injured. So yeah, he's definitely one that you want to be looking at. And just keep in mind, like there are going to be a few that are popping up next week, including Begg, including Carroll. So if it'd be worth sort of jotting down which ones you want to try and get and seeing if you need to trade any of them this week to avoid missing out on them next week, unless you're going to sort of use 2 boosts to get them in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So for me, I think that Greg Clarke's a must-have. I'm going to get him in this week, and then I'm going to have another look at Carroll next week. Wait until he's on the bubble, make sure he's playing, because I think Greg Clarke's got a better job security. And then
Yep.
I'll do the same with Aiden Begg as well. And I'm, in a position where next week I can just do the 2 trades and do a double downgrade, or I've got the potential to use my last trade boost, be aggressive and do an upgrade that same week as well as getting those 2 rookies in as well. And also just keep in mind that we're getting to a point now, like I'm down to like 20, I'll be down to 20 trades after this week. You got to, if you're looking to upgrade all of your team to premium, you're only going to, you need 2 essentially for each premium that you bring in. So count how many slots that you don't have a premium in, and see if you're actually going to be able to get there, and just keep that in mind as well.
Yep, 100%. I like it.
So players, you can take the right wheel on this one, mate. Players that you think we should be definitely looking at this week.
As we said, Clarke,
More
Parker's
like premium. Sorry.
premiums,
Yeah.
or Parker at his price point.
Yeah.
Whoever got him last week would be licking their chops at the moment because he went
Yeah.
up 40k this week and popped off.
Yeah.
As a DPP mid forward, it's a pretty handy player to have up front.
Yeah. Well, I
I
think he
think
started the year at close to 600,000,
close to
and
600. Yeah, had a
obviously as
few
just a
low.
normal mid, you weren't probably going to touch him too much at that sort of at what he's going to average. But obviously as a forward, bit of a different story.
Yeah, massively different story. My mid's pretty set, same as yours. I think it's only really 3 positions I need to look at upgrading, and that's like 1 forward, 1 ruck, and 1 defender.
Yep.
So for me, I think the Gorn trade will probably happen in a few weeks' time around the
Yeah.
bye period when he
Mm-hmm.
drops a little bit, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
For me this week, it's just whether I go with Parker or Short.
Yep.
I think Parker's probably a little bit better of a pickup for me at this point in time, just
Yep.
at his price point. He's got a much lower break even. He'll go up. I think Short will do a similar pattern to Gorn, where he'll sort of pop through the roof with his price point, and then hopefully a little bit later in the season he'll trickle down to a little bit more of an attainable value, especially with some of my defenders like Gibcus and stuff that are still set to make a little bit more money. When I'll be able to sort of go 1 up, 1 down with some rookies like him, and bring in Short or someone like that at that point in time. So
Yeah,
I'm probably
definitely.
thinking of Parker at this point in time. So
Yep.
I think if you look at the most traded in players this week, it's like Parker's definitely in there, and Short
Yep.
as well as Clarke. And then midfielders on the cusp. Obviously, Petrarca popped off again this week. I think you got to keep in mind though, Clayton Oliver was destroying, and then he got a tag, like a pretty heavily tag, and that
Yep.
freed Tracker up to sort of get on the ball a little bit more and start
Yeah.
running around.
He's still at a really good price point, like 560. Like, and he does have a 107 break even, so he's probably not going to climb too much, but
No,
he could pop off like any one of these weeks. Like after the St Kilda game, West Coast and North, I mean, he could go 200 in both of those games, really.
yeah. I mean, if you've got to look at the start of this season as well, with some like 2 goals, 30 to 40 disposals,
Yeah.
170-point games, like that's the kind of form that he could be in pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Especially if teams target players like Oliver a bit more in the midfield, it'll free him up a little bit.
Yeah.
At that price point as well, I think it's a pretty darn good midfielder to get in your team if you can.
Yep.
I think Brayshaw had a 77 this week as well, something
Pretty
like that.
ordinary. Yep. So
Pretty
he's
ordinary.
got a high break even, I think.
He's got a high break even. I think he dropped a little bit in cash. He's sub 600 now, 580.
157 break even. There you go. So it's projected to go down
157.
22. So it might be one that you wouldn't touch this week, but then keep
Yeah,
in mind
but keep an eye on it.
although he's playing North, so I mean,
yeah, if you if you're looking at, I need a midfield in the next couple of weeks, I need to pick up some premiums and some players, like, chuck these guys on your watch list, budget around a little bit, keep a bit of cash in the kitty, and then maybe, in a week or 2, you can bring those guys into your team.
Yeah, and good point actually. Like now's the time to start thinking about like your buys as well. Like I was saying to you earlier, it's been made it very clear for a couple of weeks that Short was on my radar, and this week I'd get him. Having a look through my team, when I have a look at who's playing that first week of the buys, I've just it just doesn't allow me to. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work for my structure. So I've got to look at someone who's going to be playing that first week of the bye, and Yeah, does that make sense? I'm sort of just
Yeah,
rambling
no,
on a
it
little
does.
bit
I
there.
mean,
Like,
obviously, if you look at your team and you bring up show buys, go to
yeah, so you can
round
see here
12 or
like how
whatever it
many of
is,
these
it shows you,
people. Yeah,
yeah,
so these are
actually
my
going to be playing.
people. Not many premiums. You sort of want to try and keep it as separated. Like obviously one of these two rucks will hopefully upgrade by then. And Whitfield wouldn't be playing this week anyway, so that's why his head's on the chopping block again. So yeah, I'll be trying to find someone who is going to be playing that first week of the buys essentially to because you can see pretty much straight away how many more premiums I have for the weeks after that. So yeah, definitely time to be thinking about that. So yeah, is there
Yeah,
any
just
other
be selective
ones?
with your trades. Start thinking about who you're going to bring into your team and how it might affect you into those buy rounds. It's obviously three big rounds, right? It's three rounds where you can either gain a lot
Mm.
on your individual leagues or overall ladders, or you can lose out a lot depending on how you sort of play it out and come into it.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
know
you
a
can
lot of
definitely
people,
time a few trades to make some stuff happen, but also keep in
yeah,
mind that everyone's going to be in the same boat. Everyone's going to have a few players not playing each week, so you just want to make sure you've got at least 18 players playing, and then you can if you're going to drop a few points in one week of if you're going for overall, if you're going to drop a few points in round one, that means you'll make up a few in the next because you'll have more premiums playing. So don't be too nervous if you've got more rookies playing one week and than the other, if
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah, it's just probably getting to the point now with the amount of trades you got left and the point in the season that if you are going to start planning on bringing a few people in for those buy rounds to set yourself up a little bit better, it's probably a good time to start doing it because a lot
Yeah,
of people do get to the week before the buys and go, "Oh fuck, I've got like none of my team playing, burned a heap of trades. What do I do now?" Kind of thing, and I don't
100%.
have money sitting in the bank ready to go if I need
Yeah.
to do some upgrades. So um,
Did you end up getting rid of you had Josh Kelly, didn't you, Jules? Because yeah, I think you got 150 on the weekend. I'm just
yeah,
hoping you didn't trade him out the weekend
uh,
before. So the other one to talk about, Tom Stewart. He's 607,000. G traded him in a couple of weeks ago. She's an absolute genius this year. Um, he's probably too expensive for me at the moment, considering you do
yeah,
have players.
that's
Oh, you kept
that's
him.
why I
Well
didn't.
done, Jules.
Yeah, nice, Jules. That's why I didn't mention Stewart because I just thought he's a little above the price
Yeah,
point that you'd want to be looking at
187.
the
Like
moment.
he does
Yeah,
have like a low break even, like 69 classic 69. Huh? He's going to go up another sort of 50K over the next couple of weeks. So if you're not on this week and you want Tom Stewart, you're going to be paying, or you're going to be paying an even bigger premium, or you're going to have to wait like at least sort of 6 7 weeks for him to get down below 600 most likely. So, but I don't think he's going to be doing that 187 every week. That's for sure.
no, I think it's his career high Supercoach score.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the position he's playing, he's getting a little bit more of the ball.
yeah,
But yeah, like I would be expecting 150 plus scores
yeah.
from him every week. So
So well
it's a
done
bit
if you
hard
had
to
him already, but
justify. Yeah, for me, paying 610K for him.
yeah.
Yeah, if you had him already, great. Otherwise, maybe look at him later in the season.
Yeah, and obviously everyone who missed the boat last week on Colin Mills, he 140 again. He's still got a low break even of 41, but that big score is going to fall out after next week. So he's the highest priced player in the Supercoach league now. So I wouldn't be buying him at that price as well. And Gorney's just under Callum Mills. Yeah, it's one of those things. If you got the money and you can get Gorney, I wouldn't say no.
I don't think you're
But
going to regret getting Horn
no.
in your team.
But then again, like I think about like others who didn't have McRae, we were so desperate to get him in. We got him at the absolute peak, and then you're only I don't think Gorney can put to back 90s on. I don't think it's possible for him, but I didn't think that about McRae as well. To be fair, so
Yeah,
yeah, Jaden Short's obviously got a pretty low break even, 46. I did flag that I was going to try and get him this week, and I would have loved to, but yeah, just much with the buys coming up, I'm just not going to be able to. Yeah, if you don't have Cripps, this is probably the week to get him because his break even's back up to 29, down to 29 now. He's going to go up 40K. So if you don't have Cripps, I would be making that an absolute priority this week. Petrarca we spoke about is at 560. Yeah, one that I'm having a good hard look at as a bit of a point of difference is Zorko. So he's 516. He started the year at just sort of similar to Parker at sort of just under 600. He went on an absolute tear around this time last year, and I sort of liked the position changes that he had this round, and he sort of looked like he was sort of injury free. Kicked 3 goals. Started going ham. He's got 3 really good matchups coming on. He's one that I really like, and he fits my buy structure. So I'm thinking about him instead of Short, and I save 20k as well. So if you're looking for a bit of point of difference, I think it is a bit risky. He's a bit older. He has got a few injuries from time to time, but if you're willing to take a bit of a risk, it could pay off because last year he averaged 120 for a lot of the year. So
Yeah, no, I like it.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that complain about Supercoach, like, oh, what's the point of playing when everyone's got the exact same team, apart from a handful of players? But there are players out there like Sorko and stuff that you can take a gamble on,
100%.
especially if you've got a bit of knowledge about how they played last year and all that kind of stuff that can pay off massively for you.
Yeah,
And it makes it a
definitely.
bit more fun as well to have a point of difference in your team than everyone else. So
Yeah,
I like it.
definitely.
I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. The other one's Voston, who still has got a low break even. If I think last week was to pull the trigger if you were going to do it. Looks like he's taking some more kick ins with Short going sort of into the midfield and stuff a little bit more. So yeah, like it wouldn't knock you if you did it, but we've only got 3 games of sort of data. He was 460 last week. He's big score of 155 is going to be out sort of following next week. So maybe not now. Might have missed the boat, but if you're looking for
I
a
just
point of
think it.
difference, he could be one as well.
Yeah, I just think with that though, 503k, I think short's what 530 or something.
Yeah,
So
you go
for
short every day
30k
of the
more,
week.
you'd go short every day of the week. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
nice.
All right, let's have a quick look at a couple of other teams that we've got in. We'll have a quick look at G's. Haven't actually had a look at any of these yet. So she's got the Gorn, Bruce, Hayes combination.
Yeah, I like that.
She's got Stewart. She's got Neil. So she had 3 big scores. She had Chapman on the field, which was my fault because I thought he was playing. But I mean, your obvious ones are Burn Jones, who has the potential to score a 120, but then most of the time he's sitting around that 50. So I think I'd definitely be looking at addressing him this week. And given some of the options that we've thrown out there, including short and that sort of stuff, I think he'd be a really good option to go straight from. I mean, you could even go straight from Burn Jones to a short if you wanted.
Yeah, with that cash in the bank easily.
Yeah. You've also got
Um,
Hewitt on the bench in the
midfield.
midfield, so you can, like, obviously he wasn't playing last week, but you can swap him in O'Driscoll, and suddenly your defence would be Tom Stewart, Crisps, Short, Hewitt. Starting to look
And
pretty
Dacos on the
good.
bench as well.
I think she's done the
Loophole there.
it's the
Yeah,
loophole
get the
there
highest score. Yeah.
by 2
Um,
points. Well done. And then she's obviously taken the Gorney captain score. So yeah, apart from that, the team's looking good. I'd be looking at because you're not going to get one of those 2 ruckmen most likely because you've got Gorn in the team. I'd definitely be looking at a Macomb this week, and yeah, I'd be looking at. You probably want to go all 3 of them: Macomb, Greg Clarke, and Carroll, right? Um,
yeah.
so yeah, definitely you got Horn Francis there. Clark's a great option to bring on field for him. I'd be downgrading there. Um, one of your other ones. I mean, I'd be looking at either. Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep Burn Jones, like obviously Chapman's not too far off his price. Drizzy's around about the mark on his break even. So um, and huge dicks. He's sort of on the bubble as well. Like he could pop off one of these weeks, but. Um, yeah, what are your thoughts? Anyone in that team you'd be trying to get in, or that you can see missing?
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. There's a lot you can do with this team, really.
Hmm.
Like there's players in the back line with Ben Jones and Chapman and Drizzy all around their break evens that you could easily just flip.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you could easily flip and bring in a short or Zorko or
She's
anyone like
also got
that.
Pendles in the mid as
Yeah,
well,
I
so I
saw that. I was
forgot.
going to bring
Yeah,
that up as a mid D DPP, which is nice. I kind of like that point of difference.
yeah.
And then Yeah, I mean, you got the potential with like huge dicks up front as well, and a few other players that you could bring in, like a Parker as well, probably if you wanted to.
Yeah. I
Um,
think the fact that
so
she's got Gorn and Stewart already, where a lot of people will be
it's
paying
huge,
overs
right?
this week to
Yep.
get them in, puts in a really good spot. She's already got Cripps. She's got Bailey Smith with a little bit of point of difference,
Yeah.
who hasn't
Neil
done
and
too
Oliver.
well. Yeah, she's got a good little base there, and you can sort of start to move out some of those rookies in the forward line and defence, move Pendles, Cogs forward, and then yeah, start to bring in some even more premium midfielders. Like you haven't got Toot Miller. He could definitely be on the
Yeah, he's 590 now, I
yeah,
think.
and after his big score, he's going to start going up soon as well. So what's his break even? His break even's 85. But if he scores well again this week, he'll be going well up over 600. And he'll have a really low break even next week. So he could be one that you look at next week instead.
Yeah, it's a fun team to play with actually, because there's
100%.
so much you could do with that team at the moment.
I said that to her. I was like, I'm more
Yeah,
excited about your team at the moment than mine because you've just got that
yeah,
many options.
yeah. It could go primo and defense or mid, or move some mids to your forward line and then stack your midfield. Yeah, there's heaps you can do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's fun. Have a point of difference.
Yeah, for
I like
sure.
it. My team's just like I need one midfielder, one defender, one forward,
Yeah,
and a ruck. Like
yeah.
that's it. So
Yeah, there's a
there's
lot
just
you
so
can
much
do there for
versatility there.
sure, and
Yeah,
and that gives her the option. Like if she wants to bring in like a Parker and say a short this week, she's got the option to do that. She can definitely find the money there for sure, as well as downgrading one if she's willing to use a trade boost. So.
yep, I like it.
Yeah, nice. We've got Stews as well. Haven't had a look at Stews for a few weeks. I remember that a couple of weeks ago he had quite a lot of non-playing rookies, so we
That's right.
thought that could be addressed, and it looks like majority of them have. So it looks like he's gone early on Greg Clarke. Um,
Oh yeah, it's got
he's got
Dempsey in.
he's got the Gorn Bruce combo as well. Still holding on to Bowie, so Bowie could be a really good upgrade option this week.
How much does he have in the bank? Do you know?
No, he wouldn't tell me. He wants to.
Wouldn't
He's
tell you.
keeping a few
Top
cards.
top secret information.
Yeah, he's keeping a few. I actually thought about it. I was like, I could go and work out the value of his team and figure it out, but I won't do that. No, it's good to have a few cards close to your chest, but Hewitt comes back in there. Yeah, I think if maybe like a premium defender short, so I'd maybe be looking at going like a Bowie upgrade this week, or if you've got the money, go from maybe a Chapman or something like that. Stu, you laughed. Oh, it's when he had 500,000 in the
Oh,
bank.
that's right. That's right.
Don't be offended, mate. I don't mind. Look, I've definitely done trades in the past where I've had like a large amount of money. Like did it last year. I had 500K in the bank, but it was when I couldn't use a trade boost to upgrade that third person. So this year I've definitely been willing to spend that trade boost to do that upgrade this week rather than wait a week. So, but I'll be in the same position once I've used the last trade boost anyway. So.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Forward
have a
line's
look through the
good.
team. Midfield's great. Forward line's good.
Got the
Ruck's
option of
good.
moving Dunkley forward at some point as well.
Yeah. Yep.
He's got Mills too. Should.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Good bench. I
Mm.
think, yeah, as you said, already got Clarke and a few of the rookies. I think, yeah, you're just like a premium or two short on the defense side of things.
Yeah. But he's got
Like,
you've got Hewitt. You can move that back there. So you've
oh,
got
I
say
didn't see
Hewitt,
him on the bench. Yeah.
Sicily, yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan. So
Ryan.
you
Yep.
got the three. I'd definitely be trying to look at either getting Bowie or Chapman up. I think this week.
Yep. Um,
The heavy rookie team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get it. I mean, depending on if you have 500K in the bank still, or 100 or 200K, I think you could easily go like a
But
Bowie or a
even
short.
even even not, like you can go like a Horn Francis and a Bowie, pick up the two rookies, use a trade boost, and then you've got an upgrade there for sitting there waiting. So the
Yeah,
rookies are
easily.
going to be your
Yep.
best friends this week. So I mean, I think because you're in the position as G with you got Gordon, Bruce, Hayes, I'd be definitely looking at McComb this week because you're not going to be able to get a premium ruck in Greg next week. So I think out of those three, I'd be trying to get Clarke, Carroll, and McComb potentially. So I thought I could make bank, didn't exactly work. 500. What else we got? We got Jack's. We'll do Jack's quickly. It's the top of his team. Jack's gone pretty well actually. Still at 24 trades. Um, yeah, classic defense. Lloyd's been a bit disappointing this year, but don't know what they're going to do there. I guess he's probably one that you just hold on to now and maybe get towards the end of the year. And if you've got a luxury trade, you can do that. He might be one.
Yeah, I'm so thankful he got injured now.
Yeah, I would have had him
because
for
I've
sure.
had him like every year. I would have had him, and then now it's just like a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah, 100%. I would have done the same. He was in my team until start of just before round one started. Midfield's good. Steele, McRae. What do we got? Neil, Oliver. Yeah, so we would have picked up, and he's got Miller as well. Now, geez, the midfield's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this week you could definitely look at picking up another midfielder there because he's already.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, like you're obviously like your Clarke, you can field at M8. So you got a luxury there. Fuck, he's in a real good position, you'd say.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, Jack.
What's his ruck and forward line look like? Do you have that?
So he's got Gorn, Bruce Hayes, classic. He brought in Parker last week, which he ran
Bruce
by
Hayes,
me and I
nice.
approved, and I versed him in thing and he fucked me, so that was good. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, fucking good team, mate. There's definitely a
Great
solid
team.
base there, yeah. So this week, what are your options? Because you've already got Parker in.
Does he have Clarke or not?
No, he doesn't have Clarke yet. And he doesn't have like a short, so like you could really look at going a short in.
Get rid of Drizzy or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just definitely have a look at your buys. He did also send me a couple of trades I think that he's thinking about doing. So he's thinking potentially Ward, Stevens, McCartan for Clarke, McComb, and Short. Yeah, okay, so it's sort of on the same wavelength. Yeah, that's all right. To be honest, there might be better trade options than Ward and Stevens. Stevens could be ready to go. I don't know when he's getting back in, so he could be definitely one.
I don't mind the Ward out though.
I'd probably be going. Yeah, I think he's got more money to make than what Rochelle does, and Dixon as well. He's.
Oh yeah, I didn't see those. Yeah.
He's around about the mark as well. So I'd probably be doing one of those two before that. But apart from that, yeah, I like him. Double downgrade's good, and yeah, obviously as you're in the same position where you can't probably get in a ruckman in the next 2 weeks. So definitely get McComb in, get Clarke in next week, get Carroll if he plays. Good position.
Yeah, definitely bringing those rookies, and then either look at either a short or another midfielder. Whether you go for like a Petrarca or depends how much money you got, but someone around that price point, a Brayshaw or
just
something
keep
like
in
that.
mind as well, as we've said 100 times, the buys. If you do Petrarca, you're gonna have the same buys, as Oliver and I think the Bulldogs and stuff as well. So just do keep that in mind. G'day Snaggy, how are you, mate? He sent his
team. Yeah, cool.
Have a quick look at that. Let's have a look. Snaggy. See that all right? All right, so we've got Chris Hewitt short. What did you score this week, by the way, Snaggy? So he's got Wits. So Wits has been a really good pickup. He might have had him from the start, I think.
He's had him for a while at least anyway.
Oh, he ended up going Rosie. I like it. He ended up taking a risk there for sure.
That's right. We spoke about Rosie last week, didn't we? On Thursday or Friday or something. And then I saw him get the 87. I was like, oh, that paid off. That was a nice pick. Point of difference, and it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think he's got like a lot higher scoring potential than that as well, for sure. So, the 89, I wouldn't be deterred about that at all. That was good. So you're in a position where you've got Brody hanging around in the mids at the moment. Yeah, so you've definitely got a few mid prices. So look, you probably your priorities, your backline, getting that extra premium in there. Um, you you've already got short. Who are you missing? There's someone you're missing. I thought
Sicily. I don't know what his price point's at now, but
he's 550. I think he's getting a
yeah,
bit too
bit
much
high.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So you can go like you've also got Nick Martin in the middle there too. Yeah, I'd be going like a Horn Francis, Rochelle, and like Drizzy or something, and getting in. I'd move Martin to the forward line or Brody, whatever you want. Yeah, and I'd be getting in Clarke, um, McComb, and then yeah, looking at getting a premium defender and see how much you got in the bank, I guess. Like, and you might be able to go Tom Stewart, or looks like a perfect team to potentially go like a Zorka, take a risk or something like that. Um, two more trade votes. Yeah, I've only got one left, mate, as well. You've only got 21 trades as well. Um, that's the thing, mate. Look, if you want to be aggressive, use the trade boost this week. Otherwise, just do a double grant downgrade this week, and then you can do one up, one down next week as well. So. Um, Yeah, look, I've got one left, and I'm already thinking that next week's going to have to be the week that I pull the trigger. So, no, it's looking good, mate. What'd you score again, Snaggy, this week? I couldn't see. You had Cripps as captain. That's good. Geez, that's risky going VC Oliver into Cripps.
yeah, I know. I
Oh,
like it though.
well, yeah, takes got balls, Snaggy.
Definitely balls there. I should have taken the 120.
Oh no, I got
Should have taken
greedy.
it. But after the 95 of McRae, I was like, surely he's going to bounce back.
Yeah,
Like, surely.
24.77, nice, mate. That's good. So
Yeah,
difference
great
there was
score.
captain. Yeah, great score. Yeah, captain was Cripps, Bruce on field instead of Hayes with Wits. Yeah, awesome, mate. Beautiful. Yeah, so I think your priorities obviously have a look at the buys. Definitely have a look at the buys. See what sort of defender you can get in. If you can get a Tom Stewart or something, that might be the week to do it. But yeah, have a look at the buys. And yeah, I'd be saying look at those must-have rookies over the next 2 weeks, and you're in a good spot as well. And Jaws is there as well. All right, so Jaws is in a position where he's got Jackson as well. So you might be in a position, Jaws, to move Jackson forward like we're potentially going to do, so you can pick up one of those two rucks over the next 2 weeks. So um, Strandy or Begg next week if he is named. So that's a good option for you. Ladham's is still at a low break even, I think, so you're going to make some money there, and I guess you can potentially. Unfortunately, he picked up Hobbs, mate. It's a bit unlucky. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to play this week, mate. His job security is iffy, but because the Bombers aren't going so well, hopefully they keep playing him.
Yeah, I mean, he could do like a Rochelle, Horn Francis to Parker and Clarke or something like that if he wanted to.
Yep, Parker's not a
He's got
bad
100.
option. I'd be definitely trying to look at um, getting another premium defender in though. You're a bit short there. Like
He's got Hewitt on
Dacos.
the bench.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, yeah, I see what you mean though.
Dacos B4 is still a little shaky. Like
Yeah,
I've got
a
him
little
B5
shaky.
with
Yeah.
Whitfield, so
Yep.
definitely could look at getting that in. And yeah, if you do the Horn Francis and get Clarke in, then Clarke's a great M8 this week, I reckon. So definitely got an option there. He's still got Dixon as well. That's a trade option this week. Stevens a trade option this week. Gibkiss will be next week.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, and then yeah, so maybe you do like a
Yeah,
Rochelle
well,
Dixon and Horn Francis or something like that. And Hobbs, I think you just got to sit on if just for now anyway, because you're probably better off getting some of the sort of more expensive rookies out to free up some more cash.
I know a lot of people are looking at trading Drizzy out this week as well because his break even's like 85 or something now.
Yeah, I think it's 70 or something. I think I might be 77 or something like that. But he's got what do they got the Roos on Friday night this week. So I'm not as concerned about that. I think he can definitely get it. So he's on the radar and he fits my buy as well. Like I'm kind of
Yeah, that
my
does help.
might look at leaving him in D6 until then. So, and look, Jaws has got almost 200k in the bank as well. So,
Yeah, he's got bulk cash.
yeah, you could definitely pretty much do whatever you want this week, mate. But yeah, I'd definitely be looking at either getting a premium defender and definitely look at something like a Stewart or something if you can. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, Parker's a good option in your forward line if you want to forward. Yeah, well, and the other thing is he doesn't have McRae, so you're in a luxury position, mate, where McRae's break even's 200 this week. He should definitely be on your radar for, if not next week, the week after. Just keep an eye on him because he'll go down close to 600 after his 290. So, good stuff.
Sweet.
Anything
else you want to say?
No.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it looks all pretty good to me, mate.
Getting rid of McRae, Snaggy's saying.
No, I don't think I'd be doing that, mate.
I definitely wouldn't get rid of him. Even though, yes, he might drop 60 or 70k over the next couple of weeks with what his break even is at 200 at the moment. Oh, you mean Dacos? Okay.
Dacos. Yeah, he's one that you can.
He can. He's definitely gotten up there in price point, right? And he's probably doesn't have a whole heap of money to make. What's his break even? 74.
Yeah.
And he's at just under 400k. The problem is, in your defensive line, I think I'd way rather have him as my extra instead of a Drizzy or a Gibgus or anything like that. So I'd probably be looking at getting rid of him a bit later than those guys.
Yeah.
Just because you're probably going to bank 70, 80 every single week with him. So
yeah, Big D just to keep him to buy round 3 for me. Yeah, I think the same for me, mate. Him and Drizzy will be similar for me, just depending. But yeah, I mean, just have a look at your buys, and if you've got, if he's gonna, in saying that, if he's the extra cash is going to get you a premium that you want instead of someone that you don't want, 100%. But yeah, just keep an eye on those buys as well, because we're only 3 rounds away, aren't we? Yeah, 3 rounds and then the buys, so
yeah,
comes around quick. All right, too easy. We might there's been no injuries this week to talk of so far, so if there's any come up this week, might do another emergency meeting, but touch wood.
Touch fucking wood. I swear I don't even want to mention their names. It's cursed at the moment. I don't know how, we're all stressing so hard last week with 9 of our players in our team out. And then you saw some of the biggest scores that you've seen all year.
The
top
crazy.
Score. You see the top score for the week was 28-30 or something.
Holy shit, I didn't even look at that.
Yeah, that was fucking mental score. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy how
28-33. Holy shit. So he's taken Gorney's score. He's had Stewart. He's had Neil. He's had Cripps. He's had Petrarca. Fucking hell.
Yeah, Stewart and Short in the back line. And then Gorn in the ruck and Parker as well. So
crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Just lucked out with the big 150
he's even got
plus
Bruce
scores.
on the bench.
Bruce on the bench, yeah. He's got Gorn and Wits. Yeah,
and he even took Greg Clarke's score.
Yeah, loopholes. Yeah, insane.
Well done to that bloke.
And then Noah Anderson getting 133 for Gold Coast as well. Helped heaps. Yeah, well done, mate. It's huge.
Well done. All right, let's keep it there.
Right.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, Snake. Thanks, Jaws. Thanks, D.
Thanks,
Burrito
guys. Jim. Yeah, we may do a stream on the weekend or a little emergency meeting later in the week. If you want to follow the channel, that'd be awesome. Chuck notifications on or whatever, and I'll let you know when we're going live. But other than that, if we're not on, we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See ya.
Catch you guys.